Good morning to all. Today, November 25th, it is the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. Introduction. Violence against women is a global problem occurring in every culture and social group. Nowadays, violence affects the life of millions of women and girls in all socio-economic classes around the world. It cuts across cultural and religious barriers and takes a variety of forms from domestic abuse to the child marriages and female circumcision. Violence against women is largely unreported. Fear and stigma often prevent women from reporting incidents of violence or seeking assistance. In fact, 80% of women who have been physically abused by their partners have never informed the police. In December 1999, at the 54th session, the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution declaring that November 25th, the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women and Girls. Violence against women. Any act of gender based violence that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, psychological harm or suffering to women, including threat of such acts, coercion, or arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether occurring in public or private life. Forms or types of gender based violence: domestic, sexual, physical, harassment at workplace, eve teasing, dowry related violence. Domestic violence. Domestic violence, also named as domestic abuse, battering, or family violence, is a pattern of behavior which involves violence or other abuse by one person against another in a domestic setting, such as in marriage or cohabitation. Domestic violence can take a number of forms, including physical, verbal, emotional, economic, religious, and sexual abuse. Sexual violence. Forcing someone to have sex after being hurt either physically or emotionally, forcing into prostitution, forcing someone to have sexual relationship with other people, forcing someone to participate in any sexual act in which you are not comfortable, forcing someone to look, act, or pose for pornography. Obscene gestures, pressure for dates or sexual favors, gender based insults or taunting, sexually explicit telephone calls or emails. Physical violence. Physical violence is the deliberate use of physical force with the potential for causing harm. Physical violence includes scratching or biting, pushing or shoving, throwing, grabbing, choking, shaking, hair pulling, slapping, punching, or hitting. Use of a weapon. Use of restraints or one's body size or strength against another person. Physical violence also include encouraging other people to do any of these things. Physical violence is a serious issue and may lead to a criminal charges. Harassment at workplaces. Workplace harassment is the belittling or threatening behavior directed at an individual worker or a group of workers. Sexual harassment is a form of sex discrimination that occurs in the workplace. The legal definition of sexual harassment is unwelcome verbal, visual, or physical contact of a sexual nature that is severe or pervasive and affect working conditions or create a hostile work environment. Eve teasing. Eve teasing is normally meant as teasing a girl or woman. Eve teasing refers to public sexual harassment or street harassment to a girl by a boy. Eve teasing has now become a common affair in our society. School or college going girls are the main victims of eve teasing. Dowry related violence. Any act of violence or harassment associated with the giving or receiving of dowry at any time before, during, or after the marriage. Dowry related violence is a serious problem that affects the life of women and girls. Before the conclusion, we have to the legal point of view related to laws of women's against the violence. Section 498A and Section 30B were introduced into the Indian Penal Code in 1983 and 1986. The most recent legislation is the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. The punishment for violating the anti-dowry law is imprisonment for up to 5 years and fine of rupees 15,000. Through Section 294 of Indian Penal Code, which sentences a man found guilty of making a girl or woman the target of obscene gestures or remarks, maximum jail of 3 months. Under the IPC and the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013, which provides remedies for victims and also impose obligations on organizations to ensure the safe working environment for women. These are the laws for violence against women. Conclusion: violence against women is a chosen action against a woman or a girl, child, simply because of her gender, simply because she is female. Violence against women cuts across race, religion, income, class, and culture. Violence against women is deeply embedded in all cultures so that millions of women consider it a way of life. Thank you.